is Emma. I'm 30, married, and a mother to a little boy who lights up my world. For 9 years, I thought I had everything I ever wanted. A beautiful home in Charleston, South Carolina, a quiet life, and a marriage that looked picture perfect from the outside. People used to tell me how lucky I was, and I believed them. Brad, my husband, is a good man. He's a dentist. Calm, respectful, hard-working. He never yells. He comes home every night. He remembers to fill my gas tank, takes out the trash without being asked, and makes sure the bills are always paid. He's steady, safe, loved by everyone. On paper, he's everything I could ask for. But marriage isn't lived on paper. And what no one tells you is that safety and love aren't always the same thing. You can have all the right ingredients, the house, the child, the memories, and still feel like something's missing. For me, that something had been missing for a long time. It all started the day I decided on a whim to remodel our backyard patio. We'd talked about it for years, but it was always a someday plan. One morning, while sipping my iced tea and staring out at the old cracked tiles, I decided I was done waiting. Brad barely looked up from his laptop when I told him. "Whatever makes you happy," he said. That was it. A few days later, the contractor showed up. His name was Ethan Carter. I was in the kitchen when I first saw him. He walked through the backyard like he owned the sunlight. Tall, confident, arms bronze from working in the southern heat. His shirt clung to him in all the right places, hair messy in that effortless kind of way. He looked like someone out of a dream I didn't know I had. "Hi, I'm Ethan, here to start the patio project," he said in a low, warm voice. I tried to stay composed. "Great, I'm Emma. Let me know if you need anything. Water, tools, whatever." That should have been the end of it. But from then on, I found myself watching him through windows from the garden. Any excuse to glance his way. He wasn't just attractive, he had an ease to him. He laughed at small things, joked about needing 3 hands, and made mistakes without frustration. He was light and around him. I felt lighter too. One afternoon, I brought him lemonade. Our fingers brushed as I handed him the glass. It was a second, maybe less, but it hit me like lightning. I bit my lip, and he noticed. "You okay?" he asked, locking eyes with me in a way that made my stomach twist. "Yeah," I mumbled, "just hot out." But something had already shifted. That night, Brad came home late. Again, he didn't comment on the patio progress. Didn't notice the new flowers I planted. We ate cold leftover pasta in silence. I watched him and searched for a feeling. Any feeling. But all I found was emptiness. I wanted him to see me, to ask, to care. Instead, I cleaned the dishes, went to bed alone. The next evening, Ethan stayed late to install the new patio lights. We stood under the warm glow, surrounded by quiet. "I brought them a bottle of water." "You've done a beautiful job," I said. "Only because someone believed in it," he replied. He wasn't looking at the lights. He was looking at me. My breath caught. "I should have stepped back," said goodnight. But I didn't. He reached out, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. His hand lingered on my cheek, warm and gentle. My body froze, not from fear, but from the terrifying rush of wanting something I hadn't felt in years. Then he kissed me. It wasn't wild. It wasn't rushed. It was slow, tender, like he was waking something in me I didn't realize had fallen asleep. When it ended, I was trembling. "I'm sorry," he whispered. But I wasn't. Not entirely. The next day, I stayed inside, left drinks on the table without a word, watched him through curtains, afraid of what might happen if we were alone again. On the final day of the project, I went outside to thank him, to say goodbye like nothing ever happened. "Emma," he said, stepping closer, "did it mean anything to you?" I didn't speak. He gently lifted my chin. "I haven't stopped thinking about you. I wanted to lie, to protect what was left of my marriage. But all I did was bite my lip, the same way I always did when I couldn't find the words. I haven't either. I whispered. He pulled me into a hug, and we stood there, still silent, holding a goodbye. Neither of us wanted to say. That night, I stood under the shower for nearly an hour, trying to scrub away the guilt. The ache of the fire I thought had gone out years ago, but it clung to me. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't recognize myself. I wasn't just a wife or a mother. I was someone else now. Someone between the life I had and the life I wasn't Tisha I wanted. Ethan left. The patio was finished. Days became weeks. I didn't call. He didn't either. Instead, I started therapy alone. Not because I wanted to keep lying, but because I needed to understand what part of me had gone silent, why I'd been drifting, why I stopped feeling. I never told Brad about the kiss. Not yet. Maybe I will someday. Or maybe that moment will stay between me, Ethan, and the stars that watched us in that backyard. What Ethan gave me wasn't just a kiss. It was a reminder that I was still alive, that I needed more than groceries and goodnight kisses on the cheek. Brad and I are still married, but we're rebuilding. Honestly, this time, I told him I felt invisible, that I missed being seen. He listened. Maybe he saw the change in me, or maybe he missed the version of me that used to light up when he walked through the door. The other day, I found one of Ethan's work gloves behind a shelf in the garage. The ache returned, but it was softer now, wiser, because maybe Ethan wasn't the whole story. Maybe he was just a spark that made me open my eyes. Sometimes betrayal isn't about sex. It's about the slow fade, the silence, the way someone touches your soul when you thought it had gone quiet forever. And sometimes it's about that one moment when you bite your lip and forget how to say